just to the left to Warrakurna. We're now heading back towards Warrakurna and then to Laverton. We have at the moment 700 and something kilometres to Laverton, so it'll be a 2-day trip by the look of it. Very confusing coming out of Warrakurna because it's sort of off the little track, and if you don't get it right, you end up going in a circle. Crazy place. Got the sun behind us this morning. See our shadow on the road projecting ahead. Here's our first oncoming vehicle. The dust is hanging in the air this morning. Like a fog this morning. It just had, that's the dust that we're looking at is from that car that passed 3 k's ago, 3 kilometres. It's still hanging in the air. No doubt he's making his way through my dust as well. I was talking to a guy from the West Australian Land Rover Owners Club yesterday, and they came through this road then, and we were sort of trying to compare notes a little bit, but they said that they thought this road was quite bad in a sense that it was so dusty and that the grader in some sections had been through, and during the night I recall coming up here and I did find the grader working the road, and it was actually making it worse. I think I have a scene or a comment on one of the videos on my trip over where I said, oh, it was just really gluggy and whatever, trying to negotiate where the grader had actually graded all the soft stuff onto the surface. So maybe that's what they were talking about. Going to be interesting to see, because this road is certainly not as good now as I recall, and also the Northern Territory side is wonderful compared to this. So, but as I say, it's all subjective. It changes. It can change from day to day, I think. I'm just trying to find my rhythm on this road. You sort of get into a it's almost a zen state where you sort of instinctively pick up where you need to be. And if you actually look at the track ahead, you'll see that there's people move across the road looking for the optimum surface at any given time, and it depends on their tyre pressures and the speed at which they're travelling, probably whether they're in a long wheelbase or a short wheelbase vehicle. Here's a danger sign here. We'll slow right down for this one, and you can see that is just a waterway, as they call it. Got to be aware of those and react to them fairly quickly. As I was saying, you can see the tracks moving across the road as people have been before me have been trying to establish their smoothest route across the road. I haven't altered my tyre pressures again today. I'm still running on 35 psi, and currently I'm on an indicated speed of 100 kilometers per hour at about 2250 revs, and right now this is quite comfortable. I have had patches, as you've seen on previous shots, coming through some pretty gluggy stuff, but it's handling it, and I've only had to drop down to about 80 kilometers an hour, which is pretty good going, I think. Anyway, we'll continue on and see what the conditions are like a little bit further towards Warrakurna. Well, there is a road straight out before me. There are a distinct lack of stopping places on this road, and I think maybe the reason for that is, as I said before, you get into that zen state, and if you actually stop, it takes a little while to get back into the rhythm of it, and it also, you notice that at the slower speeds that you tend to be bouncing around an awful lot more. My problem is I need to clean my spectacles, and I can't get to my cleaning cloth, which is in my pocket, and I really need to stop because my spectacles are very, very dirty. I should have cleaned them before I left this morning from Warrakurna, but anyway, that's a bit of a problem. I'll deal with that shortly. I think I may have to stop. Well, what do you know, there's a parking sign and it says 500 metres, you beauty. I was just contemplating pulling over to the side of the road, but I'm creating so much dust. I don't know who's behind me, and you don't want to get whacked in the tail, so here is a parking spot. Thank you, road planners. And it's off to that side, over to the right. That's good. I can clean my specs now, and probably have a cup of coffee, I think. Hey. This'll do. I might have a cup of coffee while I'm here, and then I won't be stopping for a while. Well, I've cleaned my specs, had a cup of coffee, so now it's back on the track, Jack, and let's go. Road's turning into not too bad now. It's smoothed out quite a lot. For the time being, of course. I've got about 182, I think, left to Laverton according to my GPS. There's somebody coming in the distance. I can see their dust plume. And no doubt they can see mine. Warrakurna, I have a rooftop tent, and I thongs or flip-flops to the Americans at the base of the ladder to my tent, and I could hear the dingoes howling in the middle of the night. And when I woke up in the morning, one of my thongs had gone, and a dingo had stolen my thong. Shades of Lindy Chamberlain at Ayers Rock many years ago, who was condemned for saying that her baby had been stolen by a dingo and served many years in prison for the crime that she didn't commit, because they then found out later that a dingo did in fact steal the baby. So a warning to people who travel these roads: beware of dingoes. Comes another eastbound vehicle. He's gone. I mean, if he gets a blowout, boom, I think I'm sitting at the optimum speed here. But Toyota drivers seem to be in a league of their own. Maybe he took off down that side road. Maybe that's why my mechanics keep encouraging me to buy Toyota. And instead I bought a Nissan. Oh dear. Toyota people, they can speed along. I thought I was going fast. Crikey, that bloke must have been absolutely flying. Well, I'm having a nice comfortable drive. I suppose he was too in his Zen state. I'm still looking for my Toyota in the distance, but I can't see him. He must have been absolutely flying, that bloke. He was in a hurry. Maybe he was late for the dentist. Laverton is a little campground. That's actually where I stay, I believe, on the first, after I had left Laverton. I was trying to remember, and now I do. Warrakurna. Plume of dust ahead, and I thought it might be that flying Toyota, but I think it's actually a vehicle. Yes, it's a caravan coming this way. So we'll go through his plume of dust and see if there's anybody following him. From Warrakurna, and I should probably get fuel there. I'll top up. I'm actually carrying 40 litres on my roof and have been since I left home, but I'm too lazy to get them down off the roof and fill my tank. I'll do it at the very last possible day, I think. It's just laziness, that's all. Strangely enough, I just passed a sign that said this was the Outback Way upgrade, and the road suddenly turned nasty. It got very corrugated, so I don't know about their upgrades. Maybe they should just not bother putting graders over these things and let it even itself out. Anyway, I do recall coming across this stretch on the way through, and it's not that long. It's probably more a ploy of the local Shire Council to leave some corrugations in there so that these off-road caravans can get thrown around and smashed up. Lose their water taps and bits and pieces fall off them. Okay, change of road colour now. I've come out of my Zen state on the red roads. Saw this one coming up and it opened my eyes because it was so bright. I'm talking a load of shit. Don't worry about it, folks. This is what happens when you travel for 5 weeks on your own in the outback. And you avoid people at all costs. You talk to yourself. But I love it. That's just me. And I love this road. This is a fun road to drive as long as you're not towing anything. But you'll see that there's little yellow things, look like little yellow tennis balls at the edge of the road. Well, they're think a native melon, probably some form of bush tucker. I had a couple in my hand the other day, and they're very, very hard. I didn't open them up, but I believe they're a sort of a melon of some description. There's another little fairly rough stretch of gravel. It's very hard and rocky under the surface, I think. You can feel a distinct difference of surface over what I've been travelling for the last maybe 100 kilometres. But like everything, it won't last forever. What was I just saying? Now it's like a highway. Looks like it could be a long wide road car coming up. Yep, there is some sort of equipment coming, oversized vehicle.
Two big ones, 8 metres wide, coming at you, mate.
All right, buddy. Yep. I'll pull over and let them pass. Well, this should be exciting. We're getting 8 metre things pulling past. How you going, buddy?
Yeah, not too bad.
Guy said you got 8 metres or something.
Yeah, the first one's pretty close to me.
Yeah.
I think the second one might be a couple of pounds back.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah, I think did I see these guys? No, similar ones. There's,
similar, yeah, he's about 5 or 6.
oh, okay, yeah, I saw the big buckets for earth movers.
I'll move on.
Yeah,
If you want to call or run,
I will.
thank you.
Thanks, mate. Good on you. The big baby, that one. We'll move a little bit further over the road, I think. Ooh-wee. Mining equipment. Oh, that was exciting. Okay. Well, the wind is howling through the wires again. We're 10 k's out of Warrakurna. Get a bit of fuel, and then we'll press on to Warrakurna, or whatever. I can't remember how you pronounce it again. Maybe we don't go in. I can't remember if I went into Warrakurna or not. Well, I missed the turn off into the roadhouse, but it doesn't matter. I've still got half a tank of fuel, and it's 200 something to Warrakurna or roadhouse. So we'll push on, which is what my intention was anyway. And I still have my 40 litres on the roof as a reserve anyway, so it's not like I needed the fuel. Here's that section where the grader is. Two graders working. So far so good after the graders. Very, very smooth, as you can see. And tootling along at 100 kilometres indicated at about 2,500 revs. I don't know which way the wind is coming from, but it's obviously winding its way through my cable things that I have up the top, holding everything down on the roof rack. And we've just come onto the first stretch of bitumen I've seen in quite some time, since I left Ulara, Docker River. Smooth, man. So we have sections of this now between here and Laverton. So we are, in a sense, now over the worst of the surfaces on the road as we head down towards Laverton. Good stuff. I'm going to take it out of four-wheel drive, so I've got to do the hubs while we're on this bitumen. Oh, still windy out there and a little bit chilly. Okay, into two-wheel drive high. Okay, let's go. Sometimes the light doesn't go off. There it is. I'll put it in reverse and unlock everything. There we are, we're ready to go. Two-wheel drive now. Wow. Well, we're back on the gravel again, so I put it back into four-wheel drive, just for safety's sake, because I can't remember how slippery this road is. If you don't have it, you sure as shit will need it. So it's back in and we're on our way. Good thing about GPS is it's just automatically turned over my time difference, because we're now in WA and we're heading west. We gain time. And my watch was set back to probably central time, which says 25 to 12, and in actual fact it's only 10:06 AM. So I have gained an hour and a half basically, and I'm going to use that time to get even further west towards home. I must be in some sort of crosswind, because those they're not cables, they're actually ratchet tie downs, and they are really vibrating, as you can hear, driving me crazy, but it's still a fun road to drive. Now, we have some camels over here, and I'm sure one is a white one. or very light. There's some different coloured ones. Look at that. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Off they go into the wild yonder. Okay, that was fun. Oh, we've even brought the boat. Won't get much water out here, mate. Looks like a little bit more wildlife here. Is that a dead camel? No, my eyes are deceiving me. It was just a bush that was sort of shaped a little bit like a camel from a distance. What did I say earlier about the light plays tricks on your eyes here? I see dust. Yep. I just passed the sign and it said Warrakurna Roadhouse is 150 kilometres, so I guess I wasn't that far off in my estimate when I said 160 odd a few k's back. Anyway, we'll press on. We've got time. It's only 10:44 WA time. Just see this great big huge, oh, it's a drilling rig. I wonder what it was. Drilling for oil or something. I thought it was the roadhouse and I thought, gee, we haven't done 150 k's that quick. Crikey, no, they're drilling. This is a trip for camels. Look at these two on the road. These are probably the same ones that I met on the way over here. And they said, oh, we'll wait for you to come back. Okay. Shy. Crikey, when I look over, there is actually probably about 20 of them way over in the distance. I don't know whether this is going to pick them up or not. These are just two stragglers on the road. Amazing. Camels in Australia. I don't know whether you can make them out, but I see the first clouds on the horizon that I've seen in nearly 5 weeks. And we're now heading southwest, so we know where that is, don't we? The southwest of WA. More camels coming up. Off to the left and to the right. Oh, they're skinny looking ones, they are. Oh, they're in bad nick. Feral. And then there's one old girl boy here racing off into the bush. Oh, you look like you're pregnant, dear. Yep. She's the best looking one out of the lot because she's big and fat. Off to the left of this road as we speak is the Gibson Desert, and off to the right as we speak is the Great Victoria Desert. We call them deserts, but they're nothing like you imagine, because I think most of us would probably think of a desert as sand dunes like you see in the Sahara, but these are actually deserts. Just another little geography lesson on the safe side. I've just put 20 litres from my store on the roof up on the into the tank, because we still have calculated about 84 k's to get to Warrakurna, and I thought, well, we're getting back onto this gravel road, I need to put it into four-wheel drive again, so we now have just under half a tank, which is more than enough to get us back there. But this is to be on the safe side, and besides I was on a piece of gravel and I wanted to do that, and the only thing of course is I splashed the diesel in my face as I opened the can. Silly me, but anyway, we're all cleaned up, we're fine. Well, I've been going since well, 9 o'clock this morning, and apparently the time is now 12:16, which is 3 hours and say 15 minutes, 16 minutes. But in actual fact, I've been going for 5 hours, and I've gained that extra time. So because I've gained that extra time, and it's only, well, 363 to Laverton from where I currently am, I think I might just press on after I fill up the tank with fuel and maybe get to Laverton tonight. And then I'm right off this red dirt road, because after sort of, you know, a week of it, I think I need to clean up. Somebody pulled up or broken down, I'm not sure. 2 vehicles. Here's one coming in the distance. Because I'm early. It's only, well, it's 12:30 according to WA time, and I've got 2 o'clock, so I'm an hour and a half sort of in front of myself, if you like. And I have to keep reminding myself of the fact, because I think it's a lot later, but it's not. Like Groggy, you can come along this stretch, I'll do 120. But it's actually, it's 110, because I'm 10 above. The speedo's always 10 above. But this is a good section of road. just 308 or something to Laverton. So I think we'll press on. It's only 12:47, 1 o'clock. 3 hours, 3 and a bit. We'll get there at 4:30. That'll do. Then I'll be all on bitumen roads from then on. Notice the clouds have built up now. Oh well, we're going to come in for a landing. This is the RFDS landing strip. Touchdown. So it is only 10 past 1 now, according to the gentleman at the Warrakurna Roadhouse. So I've made up an hour and a half. So that's good. So I should get into Laverton probably by say 4:30, give or take, which is time enough to erect the tent, get a shower, get some dinner, and get into bed. In it. And the sun's gone in. Oh, here's a motorbike and sidecar. Unbelievable. Good on ya. Hey. I like it. I like your spirit. A motorcycle and a sidecar. Oh, I love this GoPro. The gentleman at Warrakurna said that the grader had been out. He's probably about 50 k's out or so. Well, I'm 40 now. And obviously he's been down here and he's done a wonderful job, because this road is just fantastic. When you have a look at the side, you can see where he's been, and he's graded the sides up, and it's nice and smooth, comparatively speaking, obviously. But no, this is good, very good. Don't tell caravan owners about, oh sorry, it'll go up on YouTube, and then they'll all find out. Oh, what a pity. Yeah, another one. I like your style. A motorbike. Good on you. Adventurous people. That would probably be an overnight camping site in there. week. Brilliant. Oh, and wait, there's more. A fairly independent bunch, because they're not all sort of, or don't appear to be travelling together, and yet they're probably part of a club. You wouldn't see that many motorbikes one after the other if they weren't known to each other, surely. But they're not like caravanners who have to stick like glue to each other. To Laverton, and it's 5 to 2, so that's not bad, not too shabby. We're actually sitting on 105 kph right now. I seem to recall this section of road coming out of Cosmo Newbury. It's very corrugated, and it sort of sneaks up on you without warning. You're on a really good piece of road, and all of a sudden you get onto that corrugated stretch. I think there's a few more along this way, but anyway, as I keep saying, they don't last forever. Just looking at the contrast after, when the sun goes behind those clouds, it really does get dark all of a sudden. It's like putting a couple of pairs of sunglasses over your eyes. Just north of Broome, going up to Cape Leveque towards Beagle Bay. That is still, in my opinion, the worst little piece of road in Australia that I've ever been on, although I was talking to a gentleman from the Land Rover Club this morning, and he said Canning stock route between well number 10 and another couple of wells, he said, is pretty awful. But I can't comment on that, but I don't disagree with him. Anyway, this is not too bad, but all things are considered. Plume of smoke, dust. long, long way behind these mates. I think maybe he's travelling on his own. While I'm driving along, I've got two Navman GPS units. One is very old and it spits the dummy on a regular basis, but the newest one I've got, I've just noticed every now and again it seems to lose the track and it gets a bit confused. And I understood that I had updated it just before I left, and it's now having trouble calculating the current trip that I'm on. I think it's sort of lost its way, and yet I don't have that problem with my HEMA, which is attached to my Lenovo iPad thing, and I don't think I've updated that for 6 months, and it's still just plodding along showing me my track, and it's got all the information you possibly want. So anybody who's interested, forget buying Navman, go for HEMA, spend the money, get their map, subscribe to their maps. You can put it on an SD card and put it into virtually any old iPad or Lenovo tablet that will take those things, and you can have them offline and it still tunes into the GPSs. But forget Navman. Of course, technology doesn't like being criticised, and as soon as I said that on the last scene, the bloody thing started to work again. So now I have 171 kilometres left to go to Laverton, and it's given me all the other information that I had, but previously for many kilometres it was still telling me I had 99 kilometres to go. Crazy thing. This in front of me, kicking it. Oh yes, it'd have to be a bloody caravan, wouldn't it? Yep, just my luck. Yes, I seem to recall this one on the way through, that's right. There's some sort of washout or something on that road. This is quite a little deviation. I'm trying to pick it up on my HEMA to find out just exactly where. Yeah, we've cut off the main road for some reason. There's a washaway or something. And I would imagine, like, just trying to remember, we'll be back on it very soon. Oh, here's the motorbikes. Yep. Yeah. More motorbikes. disconnected from for some reason. Maybe they're realigning it, I don't know. Anyway, we're back on track now. Even my little nav man came back on track telling me I've got 156 kilometres left to go to Laverton. This Great Central Road was actually closed last year when I wanted to go on it up to Wolf Creek Crater. I was going to use this road and then go on the Tanami track up to Wolf Creek, but because of some pretty severe weather the road was closed for a couple of months. And I think this is probably the result of it, that I've just noticed off to the left there in that the old section, it's just washed away like it had been flooded completely and eroded. So they've obviously rebuilt that section and decided that let's realign the road a little bit and go over where that deviation was. I mean, these things change all the time, and I'm making disparaging remarks about my nav man, but the poor thing can't keep up with all the map changes. Anyway, that's their problem, not mine. Now we've just come on to a section of bitumen. I'm just trying to remember when the bitumen actually comes on completely out of Laverton, but I think we've got a few kilometres left to go before I can safely say yes, we're finished with all the gravel. Yeah, this is another nasty little stretch that's impedes progress, as you can see, and there's nothing much you can do about it. The corrugations are pretty much spaced out. Just back off a bit. I don't think I need to adjust my tyres. They've been doing pretty well on 35 psi today. You know, anywhere between 30-35 psi for this particular vehicle seems to be fine in basically all sorts of conditions. So we'll bear that in mind for a next trip. I don't know why I thought this road was pretty good 3 or 4 weeks ago, because it's absolutely shit. But then maybe I've been travelling way too long today. I've come all the way from Warrakurna. I haven't actually worked out how far that is yet. I'll tell you before I finish this video up. But I think it's a good 800 kilometres today over roads like this, so maybe I am a bit jaded. And I don't make any apologies for that, because you want to see what it's like, this is what it's like. So if you come out here, enjoy it. Yeah, this road definitely needs the grader over it for that last few kilometres, but I suppose they will get around to it eventually. But after experiencing some of the other sections which have been graded, this is not really as good as I sort of recommended in the first on the way out. Anyway, as I keep saying, it doesn't last forever, and conditions do change over time with the amount of traffic, particularly those great big huge hulking caravans that people drag around here, and maybe that contributes to it. What do you think, caravanners? I'm just wondering why the trailer was stuck out there. It didn't appear to have anything broken. Maybe there's a grader in there, out in the sticks somewhere. And still they come. Must be all heading over to Ayers Rock to climb it. o'clock, I would say an hour and a half. So 4:35, maybe 4:35. The road is particularly bad in this section, I must admit. It's really slowing everything up because it's so corrugated. And I didn't realise it. Oh, here we go, see, silly boy. Slow down. That must be the support vehicle, yep. So they do have support. That was a trailer full of fuel. There is a horrible wind out here too, a crosswind that is really slowing things up. And it's pushing me all over the place because I'm not high-sided, but I've got a fair whack on the top of the car. That wind is really howling now. I've just clocked over the 100 k's to go barrier. It's now 96.2 kilometres to Laverton. And I am pushing. What are these people doing here? Motorbikes, okay. Having a comfort break probably. Yeah, I'm just pushing to get to Laverton because I really want to get off this road. Now I'm ready for home, but I still am probably 2 or 3 days out from home once I get to Laverton. And I'm told that the weather is going to turn foul when I do get home to Albany, but anyway. I've had 5 weeks of sunshine and it's been very worth it and very enjoyable, even though I'm a grumpy old shit and I don't like caravans, but there you go. But I've had a ball, I must admit. And actually I might sign off on this video because I think I'm going to run out of battery. I'm not sure that much else is going to happen in the next 90 k's, although we never know, so I'll turn it off, but I'll say au revoir, and I hope you enjoyed watching. We still have a team of motorcycles coming across. There must be a huge convention. Maybe it's the Ulysses group going somewhere, but there's a lot of them. Woo-hoo. Feel it hard, God. That crosswind all the time. Woo! It's still all happening. Woo! Just past the Cosmo Newbury turn off. So that means we're getting close to Laverton. I can actually see it on my moving map.